Good morning, friends. Today I am going to talk about the history of cartography or map making. As I told you that cartography is the science and the art of map making, and the people who make a map are called as cartographers. So cartography is not a new art. It has not been recently uh, developed, but it has been developed over ancient times. From ancient times, we get some relics and we get some evidences where we see that there was map making. So, in ancient cave temples and in paintings, we do find some carvings which shows you the maps and of places, small places where we see different kinds of landscapes like mountains and hills and rivers. So all these physical features are shown or depicted on these ancient relics, through which we get information about the knowledge that people used to have in ancient times of geography. So they were also aware of their physical surroundings. Then came the first clay tablets that was made by ancient Babylonians. Okay, so they were the maps, the earliest maps that was constructed on clay tablets. So the Babylonians considered Europe to be the center of the world. This was the earliest map in the world, that was 600 BCE, which is very, very old, ancient. Then we come to the Greeks. The Greeks were the first to develop the paper maps. Okay, so they used to make maps on papyrus, okay, which was a paper made from wheat. And they used these maps for navigation because they were the people who had started explorations and navigations. They used to travel to other places, they had explored various parts of the world, and they had also found out that the earth is not flat, the earth is spherical or circular. There are other places apart from Europe. Okay, so they had gone to different parts of the world and they started navigating. They started using ships for navigation, for trade purposes, for which they had prepared maps. They were handmade maps and they were prepared on paper, and they used to use it for navigation. Let me give you some additional information about the ancient Greek cartographers. So we have some examples of ancient cartography from earliest Greece. Anaximander was the first ancient Greek to draw a map of the known world, whatever world that was known at that time, because they had not explored the entire world. They used to believe that Greece was the center of the world and was surrounded by ocean on all sides. So the entire world and all the other continents, they were not explored at that time. So they used to believe that there is only one place in the center of the world, that is Greece, and the earth is flat. So Anaximander, he was the first ancient Greek to prepare the map of the world, which was not accurate, of course. There are other ancient Greeks like Hecataeus, Herodotus, Eratosthenes and Ptolemy, who have a lot of contribution in the field of map making. Eratosthenes is also known as the father of geography, okay, who said that the earth is spherical. Now Ptolemy, also his maps were based on explorations and observations and mathematical calculations. So they are very good examples of ancient map making. Ptolemy created maps by using a coordinate system in which he had used a grid system of parallels of latitude and meridians of longitude. So all these are imaginary lines, vertical lines and horizontal lines. The horizontal lines are the parallels of latitude and the verticals are the meridians of longitude, which form a grid system. And with this grid system, we can easily locate any place on the map. So this system was created by Ptolemy, and he had written a Geographia, which was a book or it was a compilation of all his knowledge of geography, which gives you an early example of cartography because he had prepared maps using latitudes and longitudes. Then we come to the medieval period, which was a Middle Age or the age of exploration, where a lot of navigations took place, a lot of explorations took place, and a lot of explorers from ancient Europe, they started visiting different places and explored different parts of the world, and they started preparing maps which included all these places that they had recently visited. Like Vasco da Gama had explored India, he had come towards Calicut, India. Then we had Christopher Columbus, he had explored America. So they started including all these countries in their map. So their map became more and more accurate and more wider. In the medieval period, they developed the nautical charts. These charts were used for navigation by the merchants and the navigators, the people who used to travel by ships, which direct them to a particular place. So these nautical charts help you to move in a particular direction. Even now, the nautical charts are used by the ships to navigate or to move in a particular direction. In the mid 1500s, Gerardus Mercator, he developed a kind of a map projection which was called as a Mercator map projection, which showed almost the actual structure of the earth. Okay, this was a projection which was based on mathematics, and it was the most accurate worldwide navigation projection which showed all the latitudes and longitudes as well. So it actually projected the world map on a piece of paper. To the modern era of cartography. Now, in the modern cartography, we had the advent of a variety of technological advancements. So there was a lot of tools and equipments that had been developed in the modern era. Okay, that is like compass, telescope, sextant quadrant, as well as the printing press, which had been started by Gutenberg, which allowed all these cartographers to print and make more copies of their maps and to be distributed worldwide. And all these tools and equipments that was developed in the modern period helped us to prepare more accurate maps. Now then, there were the aerial photographs which were taken by the airplanes, which used to click pictures of different parts of the surface of the earth, gave you almost a very clear picture and a very accurate picture of the surface of the earth, which was used by the topo maps and for making thematic and plan maps. Is the age of digitalization, in which we use the satellites to prepare maps. And how do we use these satellites? Because these satellites are geosynchronous. They keep on revolving around the earth and taking constant pictures of the surface of the earth. And these pictures are then received by the GIS centers, that is Geographic Information Systems. And what do? Is they interpret the information that they gather from these satellites, and these information or the data that they obtain from the satellites, they are basically used for different kinds of purposes, like disaster management or to make a plan map. So specifically we can make thematic maps and also use computers to manipulate and to make these maps more colorful, more presentable, and they are also available in every part of the world through the internet. We also use it for GPS system, for location of places or to reach in a particular direction. So we use basically satellites. Now a satellite imagery is used for to create data or to create information and make our maps more accurate.